What is up, everyone? HT19, we are here. We are super excited because we have none other than your RBT Rulers champion, HJEONG or Harrison. Would you like to say hello really quick?
What's up, Hector? Thanks for having me.
For sure. Please tell me just a quick summary of your background.
Yeah, so uh, my name's Harrison. If you don't know, my online alias is just my first initial last name, HJEONG. I've been playing Edison for about 3 years now. But I guess like in terms of the like competitive Edison, it's been about a year and a half to date, I'd say.
Awesome, yeah. And right now, what I'm showing on screen is your deck list, and I know you already made an extensive video with Chai T going over this. So I'll redirect people if you guys are interested in his like deck card choices and everything. I'll redirect to that. And I think you also did a video with Team Starlight going over all of your matchups, correct?
Yeah. So both of those videos are pretty good for like the deck breakdown and some of the gameplay.
Yeah. And what I really want to go over here, and what I think is pretty much just as equally as important as like your deck choices is basically like your journey and like the mindset and the lessons you learned throughout like your Edison history. Basically like what we want to start is like I guess what was your uh I guess your intro to Edison, like your early stages of playing up until pretty much Nats last year, because I know that is kind of like where you kind of started to become known.
Yeah. So the first time I kind of got back was I think it was like right around the holidays before 2022 when my friends Matt and Jacob, both of them are they were already really invested online, I think, but they found out about Edison, so we were just starting to like run some games like super casually back home. And then the first event I went to, or first like I guess competitive kind of Edison that I played was at Pasadena in 2022 when they started doing the flights, the side flights. So for like the lad mat. And I just remember like not really knowing anything outside of like Black Wings and like how the deck plays. And I just remember getting bodied super hard. Like I entered 6 pods. I won none of them. And I actually got farmed by Frazier in 3 of those pods. But overall, it was just like a really fun weekend. Just kind of getting back and starting to like kind of understand, what other decks are out there. Also back then, I think hybrid blacking in like the Greffer form was a lot more popular, so I started off playing that. And then I remember going to Vegas as well for the pods. And before Nats, the only other event that I really played in was RBTLA, the one that you won.
Oh, okay. How did you do like in like I guess RBTLA was your first major tournament, right? Like out of everything, like online and everything.
Yeah. So in that event, I think I went. I dropped with my third loss in like round 7, and it was an 8 round tournament. Um, I won my first round, which as it was a mirror. I remember feeling pretty good about that. And then I remember in round 2, I played the guy who went. I think I forget if he went undefeated in Swiss. It was the quick draw guy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I played in round 2, and I remember making like a, kind of a misstep. And like, if you remember that room, it was really hot if you weren't in like the small room. So, like the heat literally got to me once I made that misplay, and it started settling in. That's when I took my first loss. I think I took my second loss in like round 4 and 5, but I just kind of kept playing just because it was my first time playing again. But then once I took that third loss in round 7, I was kind of like, oh, like I think I can kind of chill now. But yeah, it was a good weekend regardless of like what happened. Just getting back into that setting and playing against other people, and also just meeting other people in general. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's I think that's still a pretty solid showing, especially like for your first actual major event, like X3 through 7 rounds, like you have a winning record, and
Yeah,
that
yeah,
allowed you to like build on top of that, which gets us to this event over here, and kind of gonna
yeah.
play a little bit through the video because in this event you actually did quite a bit better than uh in LA. Was this your
Yeah.
second major tournament?
Yeah, so this was my second major tournament, and actually those guys on the screen. So I met a lot of them this weekend. So I remember meeting the Erics on Friday, played against David on Saturday, and yeah, if you I guess don't know. So I was the guy who got ninth and bubbled out with that infamous miss lethal due to like just not counting math right.
Yep.
But um, I
Yep. So
remember my round one was like a no show that day,
yep.
so I didn't get to get like my round one jitters out of the way. And that's always something like that's really big for me, win or lose. Just kind of seeing how I feel for the day. I feel like it really helps to settle in. And then I drew round two, so I was still pretty on edge. And I remember being pretty tight about that draw because if I hadn't gotten too cute about one of my turns, basically I was just supposed to like MST my own oppression. I would have, I think I would have won that round, but it all kind of led to this entire day and how that unfolded. So, I can't really be too upset about it because I ended up somehow winning rounds 3 to 8, and then once I got to the last round, it was game three situation, and one correct calculation away from making top cut. But as we can see there, there's a very familiar face at eighth place that had an insane run and got second place. So I can't complain, and I always love to see other players, especially Blackwing players, succeeding.
Yeah, and then one thing that I kind of got from you as well is like, how did you feel after, I guess this day and after this insane run going X11?
Yeah, so I was definitely a little disappointed that I missed that lethal, just because it was a math thing, and I feel like math I would like to think is one of my strong suits. I still would say it is. Just that day was tough. We played for like almost 12 hours. But the biggest thing for me was just like recognizing that I could do it. I think was the biggest thing for me because I was so new at the time. Just kind of actually real time seeing and feeling my confidence build up round by one, round by round, and just kind of seeing myself navigate different matchups, different game states. Just kind of gave me the confidence. I think after this event to think like, oh, like I think I can come back to another event, and I think I can do this again. So overall, like I felt really happy with my showing. And while there was a little bit of disappointment at the time, I think the biggest thing for me was just to not let it hang. I came in with such, I don't want to say like low expectations, but I didn't come in with many expectations. So to make it that far already was just a huge accomplishment in itself. And one of the things I tried to hang on to keep telling myself that I could do it.
Yeah, and I think that it's really huge how you say it's like you're still like very proud of like your results, and at the end of the day, going X11 is a topping record. Like in most events, like you would have been in that top eight, or if we take for example like RBTs where they're top 16s, I mean you're right there in
Yeah.
ninth place. So I mean it's still a really good show. It's good showing for that mentality too. It's like it really gave you that boost to like believe in yourself, like you could actually do it. So I know there's maybe like a lot of people out there that uh like might fall short or are trying to get there. But think about it
Hmm.
like this way too. It's like you get a result that is like just short or like bubbling, but think about it as like you can do it. You will just get there next time, like try even better next time, like maybe there was something that you could have changed. I mean, like yourself, but like the fact that you're able to recognize it and then just make sure you improve on that for the next events is, I think, really, really important. And I think you showed that very, very well, even after this event. Uh,
Yeah.
w-
Yeah.
do you remember what's your next event after this? Is it already Vegas, or was there anything in between, like Nats and Vegas? That's a major event.
Yeah, so I did play an online tournament. I also remember going X3 in that one. I was X2 until the last round, but my tiebreakers I remember were really bad. Um, Funny enough, I played against Frazier in that last round. But so I played an online tournament. I also played at Anaheim, where I think that was that 9 rounds as well. Um,
Yeah, I think so.
yeah.
Those are some of the
Yeah,
bigger
so I went,
events.
X3 in that one, so I took my second loss in round 7, and then I actually played up in the last round, I feel like my chances were probably really slim at that point, but, still, overall, having done really well at Anaheim, I was, again, like, pretty satisfied with my effort. I do remember, like, being a little down after I took my second loss just because I felt like I kinda misstepped, but, being able to kind of, like, process that loss and what I could have done differently, I think, kind of helped me to, um, kind of get over that hump as well. Was just like recognizing that there are still spots for myself to improve, and that like I still have room for growth and improvement. So yeah, I was still pretty satisfied even that. that one. And then yeah, Vegas was, I think, or I think I went to LA. There was also an LA event this year, RBT, and I remember not doing too well on day one, which is the only day I went to. I think I took my like second or third loss in like round five, so I was just like kind of chilling. But I won a pod, so we take those. Yeah.
That is true, and that brings us to like this really cool and super fun event over here, which was RBT Las Vegas, where you got your first top, and I mean you knew you could do it. It was just bound to happen eventually, and you actually got two really good results at this event. So I was super happy to see that. I was super happy to be there and hang out with you, especially like after the event. I know we went to get
Yeah.
food and do a bit of gambling, right?
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
so I mean, going to events is always fun to like just chill and stuff. But I mean, this was essentially your breakthrough. You want to speak a bit about what changed between those last like I guess two events between Nats to now that like you feel like really was like the difference maker.
Yeah, I think between then and between Nats of 2024 and then Vegas 2025, I think just getting more familiar with the game, the matchups, and kind of how to navigate different situations was probably the biggest thing for me. Getting those reps in, even if I wasn't topping IRL, definitely helped because I feel like tournament stamina is huge. So just being able to constantly experience that, I think can help anyone, no matter how far you are in your journey. So yeah, in the Vegas weekend, so Friday was the EWQ event. I remember I think it was 6 rounds and I lost round four, but I won out and then I was I think third after that tournament. So got a nice little cash prize and that's always nice. Saturday, I think I played out because one of my friends was my tiebreaker, Fitz, and then I think overall it was X3 at that event. So, again, not too bad. There were still, recognizing different areas to kind of fix. And then, yeah, we get to this event. So, actually, funny enough, my round one opponent was supposed to be Michael DeSantis, who ended up winning Saturday. And then round two was against you. And I remember you were like following around that day, and like in the first couple rounds, was like, "Oh, where are you sitting?" And I was like, "Oh, dude, don't sit across from me. There's no way this happened." Because I actually don't really check who I'm playing against. I just kind of check the table number. So like when you sat down, I remember thinking like, oh shit, like I already have to play you round two, and this is like crazy because you're one of the best Blackman players. So I remember it was game three, but I remember getting soloed by Pro Heavy, and I was like, oh shit, like I did feel a little gapped, but it was still early, so just kind of tried my best to play through and. Yeah, after every round, just continued to feel better and better. It was a little unfortunate that I had to play a friend in the last round, but yeah, once I got the mat and like doing this deck profile too, it all started to kind of process of like, oh shit, like I actually did it. So it was definitely a big like monkey off my shoulder of like finally achieving that. I'd say.
Yeah, and then I believe you also mentioned that for this event, like you kind of traveled alone and you met up with people, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I kind of came to this event pretty last minute. I was debating, whether or not I wanted to go. Fortunately, Vegas isn't too far from me. But I ended up reaching out to Ryanite and Monado Boy. Ryanite I had met before, but Monado Boy, that was my first time meeting him. So, whether I had or hadn't done well that weekend, it was just really fun to see all my friends, and like meet new ones as well. I remember Ryan also had a pretty good weekend overall. So, I think he was really close to topping Saturday. So, just being there to support, the homies, I think is a big thing as well about like the IRL vibe. So, yeah, whether or not this had happened, I still would have chalked this up to a good weekend, but this definitely was like the icing on the cake.
Yeah, and I think that's also kind of crazy because it's like, imagine if you just decided not to go, right? Because like you didn't like have a group to go with from your home state or whatever. Like this top wouldn't have happened. Like your first two major tops wouldn't have happened, and who knows? Like sometimes like you just gotta say, "F it, I'll go by myself," or start messaging people that you might know online or from the area and be like, "Hey, like, do you like?" Are you trying to like link up or go to this tournament or whatever? Like
Yeah.
I just think that's kind of huge how there's like there's more resources than you think that you actually have.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I think this helped give me also some like confidence and courage and like comfort to be able to like travel to events as well, just in case my main friend group wasn't gonna go. So yeah, this was huge.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's like a lot of people in remote areas too where they might not have as much of a in-person scene, so they might not have as many like travel partners. But that shouldn't
Hmm.
discourage you to for going to events and stuff. So I'd say definitely take advantage of the fact that there are even events, right? So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then after that, you also topped Denver. Anything specific about this event that you want to go over? Like anything that you learned from here?
Yeah. So Saturday was actually the first time I went O2. So it was a little disappointing, but I remember my round one. I played against Diva Hero, and game three, they just did Diva Hero things. So um, I don't think there was much I could have done. And then round two, I played against Nova, and Nova's a really great guy, really nice. Also helps out a lot online, and I think we went to game three, but I also lost that one. Was a tough one, but I could have done things differently. So knowing that it's also partially on my hands there is kind of just like, okay, like I did what I could, but also there were some missteps for me. So I just got to kind of take this back to the drawing board. And also I got to watch one of my friends, Matt, make his crazy run into top four. So I had a really great day on Saturday. And then yeah, so I was on round two or round one feature for day two. And I feel like when you're round one feature, and you're playing something that's super basic like Black Wings, you know that you're probably going to be up against some crazy spice. So when I saw the Iatos and the Grandmaster drop, I was like, oh shit, like I'm about to get soloed. But somehow I came through. I think Logan had a couple like missteps. He wasn't aggressive enough, but yeah, I was able to scrape by. And I remember this tournament for Sunday or this day. Yeah, I was feeling really good throughout the entire day. My last round was against Daniel or 10 foot. I did have a mess up in game two that I think cost me the game and the match, just because I wasn't like aggressive enough and didn't recognize the line. But again, that's kind of room for growth where it's like, okay, I've now kind of experienced this situation where maybe I need to like use my cards in a way that's like non-traditional to set me up for success in later turns. So yeah, I had a really good time at this one, even though I went 0-2. And I think some advice there is like just because you go 0-2, it's not the end of the world because everyone's going to go 0-2 at some point. You just gotta take your lessons and move on from it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't hang on just one bad result. I mean, like I said, a lot of people go 0-2. I've gone 0-2. I know plenty of other players that gone 0-2 drop, and I won't say who they are, but just know there's some really, really good players out there that have gone 0-2 drop. Uh,
Yeah.
and like I said, I will admit that I have gone 0-2 drop. Actually, in this tournament, this exact same tournament that you're playing in right now, I was 0-2 drops, and I had to hop on comms for the rest of the day just to make myself feel better.
Hey man, I feel like being on commentary is always fun though. But yeah, yeah. I mean, I also went 0-2 drop, and it's probably going to happen again at some point. So don't let it knock you down.
Exactly. And then you didn't let you knock you down and you ended up getting a top the very next day. So that was
Yeah.
huge, huge on that. And then that kind of gets us all the way up to today's event. But before that, like I know there's been a couple of tournaments leading up to this huge, huge event with your I mean you're essentially now the best player in Edison at this current moment. So uh I mean, how are your like kind of like your events or your preparation leading up to these, and what do you think was like? Do you think like really set you apart or like helped you make the difference?
Yeah, so I think the last event I played before this was Chicago, and Chicago was actually really important because in round six I played a mirror match against someone who got, I think it was top, I forget if it was top 16 or top eight. I think they got top eight, but really good player. I think his name's David from Toronto. But I lost even though I had a dust shoot, and there was a really like niche line that I didn't recognize where I was supposed to like summon my monster and set an Icarus attack and not attack, just kind of pose that threat because his cards, as it stood, couldn't deal with them. So I kind of either give myself time to draw more outs, or if he ever kind of extends further, I just have the Icarus to punish that. So I remember just like being kind of down at the time, but after the day was over, my friends helped me really get over that hump because right after that second loss, I had to play my friend in round seven. So it felt like I was kind of punished for like making that misplay and playing him. But it was a really big learning experience of like I think the mental and emotional part a little bit of like kind of trying to move forward through losses. And again, it's not the end of the world. just the nature of Swiss pairings. Sometimes you're gonna run into your friends, and you just got to do what you can and play through. So actually, for rulers though, the only real prep I did, I guess, besides playing with my typical practice group, was just continuing to watch VODs, our weekly War League matches, and yeah, just those are the main things. I signed up the day before, and I was pretty much like, all right, let's just run it tomorrow and see how it goes.
Okay, and I think that's actually really important, especially that last part where you said like you really do like watch the videos, and like that's kind of like studying and preparing, right? I mean, I will admit I have not been doing as much of that lately, and
Mhm.
maybe that's why I haven't really done too well. So I definitely am taking notes myself. Uh, so yeah, I mean, just the preparation might be kind of huge, especially leading up to a big event like this, and it really, really did pay off. And we have it here on screen, like basically that finals match against GBs. To be
Yeah,
able to take this match down is very impressive, like twice in a row. I gotta say,
yeah, yeah.
me as a Blackwing player, like I know they always say Blackwings has a good matchup, but in my opinion, it's a lot closer to 50-50 than what people think it is.
Yeah, I think this matchup has the way the GB deck specifically has really changed over time with like the Prisma and the Trap Stun, the triple Trap Stun. I think that brings it a lot closer to 50-50 than it used to be. But a lot of people know me as like a serial doomer. I just find a bunch of things to kind of over worry about for each matchup. But GBs is one of them. I notoriously just kind of always run into GBs at some point, like early, especially in the tournament. So being able to play this matchup 3 times, even though I lost the first one, I think was kind of really poetic in a way that the finals kind of led me to this point. And even before, I'd played against Vayu, which is another matchup that I've kind of been doing about lately with our practice group. But yeah, to kind of come all the way here and see all that practice pay off in this tournament specifically, I think was super validating and just a huge and like another chip off your shoulder in that like you see your growth as it comes in real time, recognizing these lines when you're playing. And I think that's also really important is, to acknowledge your growth and be proud of it as you're going through the motions, whether it's a turn, a game, a match, or, just the tournament run in itself. So
Yeah, and I'm super glad you beat GBs too, because man, do I hate that deck so much. I really do. I do not respect GBs at all. And I mean, no shame to Igaro, because I know he's a really great player. But I'm so glad that Blackwings you put him back on top. Of basically like the best deck of Edison, and it's been doing really really well recently. And now you put him at the top of RBT rulers, and yeah, like I said, I've just been super proud to see you grow as a duelist over the past 2 years that I've known you now, and
yeah.
and yeah, I'm just like still like really really surprised at your growth and everything, and I'm super glad that you were able to share a lot of the stuff today, like your whole journey and everything, uh, and I mean, really, I just kind of want to leave the rest to you if you want to give maybe another tip or two to uh, all the people out there, and also any shout outs as well. I'll let you go ahead and take it from here.
Yeah, for sure. So I think the one of the big things that helped for me across the entire time I've been playing, besides like the friends and the support that I have there, is just being able to, I think, acknowledge your growth. I think that's a big thing through each tournament because, we all, at the end of the day, really want to do well, really want to win. And I know a lot of people do emphasize as a aspect of growth is to um, focus a little less on the results and focus a little more on, how you do, how you play. Because at the end of the day, there are, this is a game of odds and percentages. So we can only do so much. You can only, do what you can with the cards that you have. So, if a day's not your day, I think, don't let it harp down on, or don't harp down on it too much. Your day's going to come around and the practice that you put in is going to really pay off. And For my growth, especially just reviewing VODs and talking through them a lot with people, also reaching out to people in the community because when I started off, like I didn't really know anyone. Actually, before Nats, I think I reached out to Phil a lot, and at that time, I had not really touched Edison online at all. So the fact that he, a really established player, was already like super willing to just talk back and forth with me, just helped me a lot and also made me feel a lot more comfortable kind of getting into the scene. So if you're new, if you're kind of already in the scene but you don't talk to as many people, really like don't hesitate to reach out to anyone, whether it's me, Hector, or someone else you're thinking about hitting up. Most of us, if not all of us, are really willing to just talk about the game because I think a lot of us like talking about it more than playing. For me, like especially, I get really anxious when I play, so that's something I'm still trying to get better with too. But yeah, if you're new, just please like come by, and if you're already in the scene, just love yapping. So hit us all up, and would love to see everyone get their time in the spotlight.
Yeah, for sure. And shout outs.
Yeah. So, um, the last two videos, I took a lot of time to shout out like specific people that I've like practiced with or that have kind of just helped me get here along the way. But I think for this one, just kind of talking about the journey, I'd like to shout out a different groups of people. So, starting with like anyone who's made events happen, kind of helped to keep the scene growing. So, starting with like the tournament organizers. So Keegan for keeping RBET going for as long as it has. All the people who run the online tournaments, so like Snack, Crow's Nest for Deck Devastators, Format Library. Also, now that like Retro Reborn's a thing and Yggdrasil's doing the LDS, especially because this year Konami kind of decided to stop running Ultimate Time Wizard. So that was a big choke point for us, in which a lot of us were like, oh, like, is the scene kind of done at this point? But seeing everyone really band together and help that growth, I think has been really huge. So for giving all the players, all of us, a chance to keep playing, I just want to say thank you to you guys because without you guys, that's not happening. For all the content creators, who bring new people into the scene and kind of keep the existing ones, entertained or invested. So that includes you, all the people that I watch. There's way too many, but yeah, thank you to everyone who just takes time to make content or like help advertise the scene and its growth. And yeah, it's just like all the players, anyone that I have or haven't met, and anyone who's thinking about getting into the game. We just want to see the scene grow. We're like just a grassroots scene at the end of the day that just loves playing this game that a lot of us were playing, 15 years ago at this point, or even longer, or maybe more recent. But yeah, just shout outs to everyone who's been a part of this, and really excited for 2026, all the events. Definitely going to still try to travel to as many as I can. And hopefully my friends will also be able to go. And, hopefully I'll meet some of you guys that are listening at those future events.
Yeah, for sure. Never be scared to say hello, because I mean, trust me, we're always glad to chat to people and bounce like questions off of us or anything. Get Harrison to sign your Blackwing cards. That I'll definitely have to do that myself. But yeah, I guess I just got to say, I know I'm using some of E3's footage, so definitely shout out to E3 Yu-Gi-Oh! And huge thanks to you, Harrison, for coming on and sharing your journey with us.
Yeah, thank you again for giving me the space to kind of share all of this too, because being able to reflect on the tournament has been one thing, but to kind of look back at everything I've done as well, I think is also really helping to make this all settle in and you know recognize all the growth and work that's come to this point. So yeah, thank you again.
No, thanks you, and thanks everyone for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.